Alright, everyone, welcome back. We're going to be heading into the first round of 8 matchup. We're going to be watching Team Predator up against Team Billy. We are in the picking stage, as you can see on screen. Right after that, we have Isis and Athena, as well as Sobek banned out. DM Brandon is going to be banning his last character here for his team. But of course, I'm joined today by Squiddish, who is going to do some back-to-back tournament action. How you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. What's up?
It's up. Everything's up. Sobek's down. Isis and Athena are down, but the rest is up.
And Humbats is down as well. Very, very standard bans here. Just the kind of standard stuff we see every day of the week. Isis, Athena, Humbats, Sobek. I mean, that's like the four most standard bans in the book. A little interesting because there was recently a rebalancing patch, pretty big rebalancing patch this last Wednesday that changed a lot of gods like Hercules. We're seeing DM Brandon grab, who is very, very strong now with a guaranteed stun on his driving strike.
Yeah, that's a big change there, and it's something that, I mean, it took Hercules from, like, mid-tier and catapulted him up to just top tier. He was good in certain situations. A lot of people like jungling with him or taking him to the side lanes for the solo, but now that he has a guaranteed stun, he has, reliable CC beyond his Earthbreaker, which, with the shorter range and the delay on it, it's sometimes hard to land.
Very much so, and now it's you press 1, you get stunned, which is incredibly powerful, especially combined with his Earthbreaker pull. And actually, for those of you that did watch the NA tournament earlier today, Team Dignitas first banning Hercules every single game. Did not want to deal with that. Hercules did not manage to get in to a single round because somebody banned him every time because he is so strong now. So this is actually the first time I'm getting to see Hercules pop up in competitive play since his rebalance.
So we're going to see Amir picked up right after that, then back over to Billy. We're going to have On Her and Thor picked up there. Over to Team Predator, which is on the right side of your screen. We're going to see Neith and Ogni being picked up. Ogni doesn't look they want to grab Neith just there. Maybe they just buy themselves some time to think about their last pickup. They have their mid character, they have their ranged carry, they have their support tank, and then Hercules, who could be a tank, could be a carry, could be a jungler, could be a lot of things at this current point. And then back over to Billy. It looks like they have 2 last picks. They have a mid. They need a support tank. They actually need 2, and possibly even a solo, depending on how they want to go about this.
And looks like they are going to lock in an Ares there. Haven't seen him show up for quite some time. I love me some Ares. And they're going to go with the more standard Guan Yu. So pretty, for them, other than the Ares, pretty typical lineup for Team Billy on the left. And Team Predator looks like they are going to pick up Arachne, who is not a bad pick, just a very, very, you got to use her well. You got to take hard advantage of the fact that she can get way ahead of the game right out the gate, because if she falls behind, she's pretty much useless.
So Arachne's going to be picked up here. It goes straight to DM Brandon. And I would say of all the people at Smite, Nexus Angel and DM Brandon are probably the best Arachne players around. So something to look forward to watch him play as Arachne. He can level up quite quickly. I mean, there is about 2 ways to do it as far as the Arachne jungle goes. As long as you pick up enough camps and spread your spiders in an intelligent fashion, you can catapult yourself to level 3 or level 4 right off the bat, which of course, as you mentioned there, Squiddish, Arachne is a early game god, and you really need to be as effective as you can in early game. So getting those fast levels really does help her catapult into the mid game and be very, very strong throughout. And as you mentioned, has that kind of diminishing return effect, where as the game goes on further and further towards the late game, she doesn't really have the kind of effectiveness that she would want.
And she at least does bring a little bit to the table other than damage. I mean, she's not in the Khalees situation because she does have the pull with the stun. She does have a slow and a cripple. She's got a very, very powerful silence. So she's got a bit of CC and utility, but for the most part, she's pretty much there to punch faces. And if she doesn't get that big advantage early on, there's not a whole lot of help she's going to really be able to do.
That is very true. So as the picks have been finished off, guys, we have about 2 minutes left on the spectator timer. Of course, it does delay us a bit, so you can't see the game perfectly live, so there would be no ghosting or stream sniping or any kind of strategy you can gain from the stream. So we're going to go ahead and cut to a brief timer here while we wait for the match to get set up, and we'll bring you right into the action as soon as it is ready, so stick around. Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to be watching Team Billy up against Team Predator. The players are in the match and we are ready to go. They're heading out already. We're going to see the Arachne set up in the jungle, setting those eggs down and getting ready to clear out these camps. Got to be very, very quick with these eggs being placed down, but right off the bat, let's go and cover who's playing what and where they are going. For Team Billy, the blue team, the bottom side of the map, we're going to see Mains with a Z on Ares heading over to the left side of the map. We're going to have Hobo AM on her, standing right next to him. Now across in the middle lane, we're going to have Mexican on Hebo. I believe this is his third showing in the Tiermonster Code Green tournament. Next thing will be I'm Calm Bro on Thor in the jungle, facing up against the enemies who are standing here towards the medium camp. And behind him will be Guan Yu, played by Tigsy. Now the opposite side of the map, we're going to have Red Team, Team Predator. Eonic is going to be on Audi, taking up the middle lane, most likely. Infernal Mirage on Neath across the map, next to Arachne, played by DM Brandon. And then Garuger on Amir, as well as Dota Demon on Hercules. But of course, I'm joined today by Squiddish, who is very happy to see Hercules today.
Oh yes, Hercules and Ares, and mostly pretty much Ares. I'm glad Ares got picked by somebody somewhere. I mean, he was like the little wimpy kid in the corner of the playground that got picked last for dodgeball every day. And I mean, you're the God of War. That's just not something that can happen. Come on, you got to get played. You're literally the God of War, and here we go.
So we're going to see them clear out the medium camps and head on back. One ward is placed down for Team Predator on the opposite jungle map, right side of the map. We're going to see Arachne hitting level 1, clearing out those 2 camps right away. Looks like the spiders didn't really have as much of an effect as she possibly would have wanted. Level 2 now, going to be clearing out the blue buff here for the solo lane. Hercules looks like it's going to be Neath Emir up against on her Ares left lane. Agni and Hebo in the middle lane, and then it's going to be a solo 1v2 over here. Possibly, oh no, there's going to be a Thor jungle. So they will have a pretty basic setup here. As the invasion comes in for Arachne.
It looks relatively by the numbers here, and here they go. Arachne kind of cut out by herself in the middle of Thor and Guan Yu. Gonna be fighting though. Thor taking a lot of damage. Those spiders are really powerful early game, and she's able to pick up a pretty easy kill on Thor because Guan Yu sort of walked off and left him there, so he died.
Yeah, he kind of just dipped out there. I was hoping that Thor possibly had the Mjolnir's attunement available to teleport out in case that he got caught. But this is really one of the biggest strengths of the Arachne. While she dives in the tower, takes a tower shot, and will be falling here to the last shot there as Guan Yu gets an AFK kill on Arachne. Gets very aggressive under tower range and attacks the Guan Yu seemingly for no reason there.
Yeah, not 100% sure what Brandon was really going for there, because he's kind of alone. Well, not alone, but it's kind of a Guan Yu, and you're kind of under tower. And we see in the little initiation in the left lane as well here, as a stun followed up by a spirit arrow from Neath are enough to take down on her. He gets ripped down very quickly by that damage. That's kind of... What?
Skip it back to check it out here. See what happened. And Pale comes out in front of Amir's face, forces him back towards the enemy minions. Looks like Neath is getting ready to go here. The Frostbite comes out. The Spirit Arrow as well, as you can see in the wall, comes out right after. And Amir falls to the minion damage combined with the damage from Neath as Ares throws out some chains in desperation, trying to help out his lion friend, but not going to be enough to save his life there.
And this is kind of the problem with Ares. Ares is a really good offensive tank. Ares is there to help you secure kills. Ares can do that. He's not like a Sobek or a Ymir tank. He doesn't have any sort of peeling ability. So when they go in on her, there's really nothing Ares can do to stop that. He doesn't have any way to stun them or stop them from murdering his friend. All he can do is stop them from getting away when they're the ones doing the murder, which is sort of the big downside.
Stun comes out on Hebo in the middle lane, takes a little bit of harassment from that Agni, which of course takes no mana to use those Rainfire Meteors. There's a Flame Wave to harass the whole wave and push it back towards tower. Arachne had an opportunity to go for a gank there, but unfortunately enough, Arachne was not level 5, so did not have that Cocoon hook to pull Hebo out of tower range, but does have it now as Thor comes in for a gank, as Arachne takes the long way around. Berserker Barrage comes out on the Agni. Agni taking a lot of damage here. The Hebo might want to use ult. Does he get the ultimate off in time? The passive is not going to be enough to finish off Hebo there. The combustion did land on top of him, as Thor barely survives. He's going to go for a hook. No! Unfortunately enough, Arachne took the long way around at the exact same time that Thor came from a gank, and then fortunately the timing worked out perfectly for Team Billy to take a free kill on the Agni and head home without a scratch.
Agni very close to picking up a double kill by himself there. Had Arachne been around, easily would have secured both of them, but unfortunately, like you said, just picked the exact wrong time to walk away. No idea that was going to happen. No idea Thor was going to pick that exact moment to jump in, but just not great timing for them. And now we're going to see Arachne go in and just try to bogart Thor's jungle. She can't kill him. She can at least deny him his experience.
That's one of the biggest benefits for Arachne, as we've seen in registration here in the left-hand lane, as the Neath ultimate comes out right on top of the on her. The hook is on cooldown here, trying to go after the Ares. Ares dropping quite low. It has no ultimate available. Arachne goes for the drain life, taking a lot of harassment. Thor goes out. Berserker Barrage will finish off Arachne, but they trade it for a double kill, so that's actually not that bad of a trade for Team Predator. They actually take a bit of a kill lead here. They're about 1,100 gold up at the 4-minute mark, so taking a very strong lead, and Arachne taking a big chunk of that.
Arachne just going absolutely full ham. DM Brandon has absolutely no regard for his own safety and does not care, as he has proven by just punching Guan Yu in the face under his tower, seemingly just to assert dominance before getting genocided by tower bolts and now suiciding to kill an Ares, basically. I mean, he does not care if he dies. He just wants murder. And this is something I can understand. That's an idea I can get behind.
Hebo running against the Agni here in the middle of the jungle, taking some damage there. Use the Aegis aim as Thor dunks down. The hook pulls Thor out of Agni's range. Here comes a crushing wave on top of the Agni, taken out by a basic attack. It is a 1v1 now as both Thor and Agni have fallen. They're going after the Hebo. Hebo take a lot of damage. Arachne is very good in solo situations up against mages. As you can see here, the shark comes out of the ground and finishes off what was left of Hebo. And Arachne will prove to be victorious in a 2v1 exchange in the jungle yet again. Team Predator losing some kills there, but also coming out on top.
No falling sky shark today, I suppose. But yes, Arachne's 1v1 versus mages is ridiculously powerful just because not only does she have a silence, her silence also does damage and heals her a ton. So especially, even to extrapolate that further, against a mage that pretty much has to be in melee range like Hebo. Because Arachne just puts out so much damage on top of the fact he has that silence ability, there's really nothing he can do. If he's close enough to do damage, Arachne's close enough to eat his face.
Yeah, really one of the biggest benefits there. I mean, she's just so good. I mean, in general, an excellent skirmisher. Arachne's not great at team fights, but she's so good at 1v1s and small skirmishes, 2v2s, and 3v3s, and any combination thereof. But also, I mean, so great in a 1v1 situation against a mage, because a mage relies so heavily on their ability to cast and move freely. So move freely there in the team fights and able to, get around and sit on the edges and use the abilities effectively, which Arachne completely gets rid of. Not only that, but also the cripple will prevent characters like Agni from dashing away.
Speaking of, Thor and Hebo trying to go in on a gank with Agni here. Tectonic Rift missed completely, and then he dashed right as the water spout came out, so they were unable to pick anything up there. Agni able to pretty easily just kind of meander away into the jungle and off to safety. Arachne looked like she might have been hunting for a gank on the mid lane there, but Thor and Hebo both went back into their tower, so there's really nothing to be had, and Arachne's just kind of going to go off in the jungle and go back. Thor, picking up this mid camp, might decide to go for it again, but Agni knows he's right there. He's got a ward, and he is being careful. He's playing it safe and near the tower.
Yeah, smart play there by Eonic, realizing that he kind of, Thor is one of those characters where you need to be very careful from those ganks. There's a reason why Fenrir, Thor, and Hoonbots are such powerful junglers. Not only do they have great clear, but their ganks are so powerful and amplified so in the middle lane. Characters that are very squishy, the mages, have trouble dealing with the Thor dunk from the air, the Hoonbots jump over the wall, the Fenrir jump over the wall, as well as the Ragnarok activation. So, those kind of junglers you have to be very, very wary of when you're playing the middle lane, because it's easy for them to come from literally nowhere and land on top of you and get a lot of burst damage in combination with their middle character. Someone like Hebo, who excels at that. Arachne kind of come from the left side, looking for opportunity to gank the middle lane, not going to be able to do it. A meteor comes out on the Hebo, forcing him back in the jungle, and looks like that's going to be ending here as Arachne heads over to the right side of the enemy jungle to take away their blue.
And one thing worth mentioning here, while nobody's really going on the offensive right now, is the vision situation. Team Billy, one of the wards by their fire giant just expired, but they have a lot of vision. Of course, I'd start saying that all their wards would just burn out and expire, obviously. Thor and Arachne gonna fight in the jungle here. Agni gonna rotate around, doing a lot of damage to Thor here, not even able to ult away into the distance before the meteors combined with the Arachne silence are enough to tear him down. Just a lot of damage those two can put out, like you're saying, in a 1v1 situation. She's just so powerful. She finds a lone Thor in the jungle, not a whole lot Thor can do about it.
Yeah, she's getting very high in golden experience there, and something that I've actually never seen before. Arachne hit the drain life right as Thor teleported, and so she leapt across the jungle and landed on his head. Quite an interaction I've actually never seen before, but looked quite interesting. But as it came down here, as Guan Yu pops ultimate defensively on this tower, doing some damage to the Arachne. Unfortunately, Arachne has a lot of HP here, and it actually has a lot of defense as well, forcing the Hercules away. Hercules can take a little bit of tower damage. The mitigate wounds has fallen off at this point. It's not going to be able to heal that back up. We see a little bit of lag coming out from Demon. Just a reminder, this is a grab bag tournament, which means both EU and NA can participate in this tournament. We're going to see the Hebo kind of might be getting ganked here in the middle lane as Arachne comes from the jungle, looking for an opportunity to go for the hook. The water spout on the crushing wave right on top of the water kid right after, taking no patience there with the Arachne. He loses his life in the process, but he says, "Hi, Spider, I've had enough of your shenanigans."
He is tired of this freaking spider, and he responded the only way Hebo knows how: blow stuff up. Meanwhile, every ultimate known to mankind got thrown in the left lane as Ares tried to ult Neith and Ymir. Neith beads out of it, and then Ymir popped his ult in response, and then on her popped his ult on Ares' ult, and then realized it didn't actually grab anybody, so he was probably pretty disappointed after that. But basically every ult on the planet got popped and nobody actually died. So that's kind of the story of an Ares ult.
Out came the rain and washed the spider out, as they say. So we're going to see On Her and Ares here in the left-hand lane kind of push this back up. As far as the individual gold numbers, we're going to see On Her sitting about 3,700 versus the Neith, who is at 4,100. So Neith taking a very significant lead there in the gold. Of course, with her global ultimate, it's very easy for her to get assists and kills across the map and, you know, put her influence and make it be known all over the area, especially in her own lane here, especially the fact that she has 1-0 and 2 versus the On Her, who is 0-2 and 1. So they have a very strong lead in their ranged physical carry. Agni going for that Doom Orb in the middle lane has fallen a few times, but Hebo is going for the Doom Orb as well. And at this current point in time, we see no Heartseeker. So as far as everything is leaning out, Team Predator has a slight lead overall, and their farm is looking quite strong.
It looks like we're just going to have Doom Lord Wars in the middle, and they're going to be looking to, Predator's going to be looking to keep that gold advantage strong here, not let anything slip away. But Agni is pushing up a little bit. I do not think he knows that Thor's right there. But he did see Hebo duck around the jungle. Now he's going to cut around to see if he can contest this mid camp. But way too late for that. Ares out by himself by the gold camp. Gets found in the jungle by Arachne as the Neith ult comes out. He's taking a lot of damage there. He's going to ult just Arachne as Thor comes down. Arachne's going to pop her Aegis. Thor is doing the Berserker Barrage, but not doing a ton of damage. The On Her ultimate's going to be enough to finish off Arachne there. Ymir ult, zoning everybody, hitting nobody, doing its job as the Ymir ult, and they're going to turn around to see if they can take him out here. The meteors are going to rain down on Ares' head and blow him to pieces before he has any idea what happened. And Thor is unfortunately going to duck down and miss, landing on the Agni there. So that is going to be a disengage and a 1-for-1 exchange. But a support tank for a jungler, not bad.
And not just a jungler, but also Arachne. Every kill on Arachne early on is very valuable because it will slow down her farm and also make that exponential growth that she likes to lean on such a slower ramp that it means that, you know, towards the middle game and late game she's not going to be as strong as she would want to be, and of course hits that threshold point where she just falls off completely, and that's what they're looking for. Ares is going to teleport back to this left-hand tower. Lands a change underneath, actually dropping her quite low. She's at 130 HP. There is the flames. Can On Her get in here and do some damage is the question. If the Impale comes out, it'll push her too far. There's a few basic attacks. She be able to backflip out. The backflip is available. On Her might be able to go in for an Impale. No, he decides to disengage and goes for the Ymir, and the Ymir's just not going to take too much damage here. Quite tanky here as he has picked up reinforced boots or reinforced greaves as well as the sovereignty tier 1, so not going to take too much damage, and that kill is off the table for them.
And already tried to rotate around and try and sponge up there, but the only target available was Ares, who is relatively tanky with his finished off reinforced greaves. So the Meteor's still dumping a bunch of damage on his head, but not nearly enough. Agni did more damage than I expected to reinforce Greaves, but that's because if you look at the levels here, Agni, top farm in the game right now, sitting on level 14. Well, Ares is level 9. Like, he is very, very behind right now. Most of his gold he's spent teleporting back out to lane, and he has been getting zoned out so hard. He hasn't really been able to keep up in gold or experience. As you can see, he's about 600 gold behind the next last, and Arachne finds Thor in the jungle here, going for Guan Yu as well, to see if she can chase him down, but he's pretty tanky. He's going to get back to his tower okay. Nothing much she can really do about that one.
An excellent interaction there. We saw Arachne get caught out by the Thor gank over here in the right-hand lane. She missed her hook earlier, which should be back off cooldown, and indeed it is. So she has that available too here. And here comes a tower dive on her. He's just going to eat the tower with mitigate wounds and slap down the Guan Yu. The Guan Yu just pays no mind here. We might see a gank in the middle lane as Neith comes from behind the Hebo. Hebo has his ultimate available. We'll be able to use that. There is this Spirit arrow laying down. And one meteor from the Audi. She's dropping quite low. Needs to use that ultimate if he's going to get away. Goes for the ultimate, waiting for the Audi to come out. Excellent play there by the Hebo. Loses his life in the process, but excellent foresight there, realized that he had an opportunity to kill the Agni, waited for him to get low enough for the Agni to kind of creep out and try to assist his teammate, and just throws the tsunami in his face and gets a free kill before he gets taken out by the Neith.
Nobody seems to care about their own life in this game. Everybody just wants murder and battle, and that's awesome. Ares trying to engage 1v1 against the Arachne that's 3 levels higher than him here. Arachne slaps him around a bit, down to about half health, and then just says, "Go away, I'm busy," and finishes picking up this medium camp. Well, it's nothing to do with that. Going to force Ares to go home. Absolutely the last thing he needs. I mean, that's kind of the tale of Ares this game. He's just been getting forced back and forced out of lane and forced out of experience range. And he's just getting stuck really, really far behind. They just keep making him back.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of kind of just isolating him and making sure that he's always underfarmed, underexperienced, underleveled. Now, as everyone knows with support tanks, you don't really need the levels or the farm as much. You're more there for those clutch CC interactions that we see initiation here on the Guan Yu. Guan Yu actually out of mana, but I guess one last heal off before he heads back to tower. Will be able to survive in this slap contest over the solo lane. But back to my original point, the support tanks don't really need the levels as much, so then they're benefiting from that. But again, if Ares is too underleveled and too underfarmed beyond a certain threshold, he'll be so, squishy that any team can kill him and not worry about trying to go around the tank, which is a powerful strategy for team fights, being able to just kind of burn through the tank and then head to the back line.
And although most tanks can survive perfectly fine without as much farm, because support tank, I mean, like you said, they're there for face distractions and CC. A lot of what makes Ares a tank, and we've got some engagement on Agni here, so time, I'll finish that statement in a minute. Berserker's Barrage going out, Agni is forced to use Path of Flames to dash out here, he's dropping very low. Thor doesn't have any abilities left, but he's just going to slap him around a little bit with his hammer before he gets finished off by the water spout from Hebo. And they're going to pick that kill up absolutely for free there. Nothing he could possibly have done. But just to finish that thought, Ares relies a lot on his damage. His job is to hold people in place, cripple them, and do a bunch of damage. I mean, that's kind of his shtick as a tank. And without that, he's going to have difficulty in life.
Thor going up here as they go on top of the Hebo. The dung will come. There's the Guan Yu ultimate. The Thor ultimate misses. The Neath ultimate going to land on top of the Hebo. The rock comes out, rolling through and bouncing and finishing off the Thor. The Hebo will fall as well to the passive from the Arachne. Now going after the Guan Yu. The honor here is here. The Impale comes out, throwing the Arachne away. Here comes the dash from the Hercules, forcing the Guan Yu to tower range. Now the pursuit is on to the Arachne. There is the pillar. Arachne is going for it. Goes with the drain life, trading HP with the honor. Honor getting stuck by the slow from the spiders. The passive is coming out. Is it going to be enough? Honor falls in the jungle to the Arachne. Now Guan Yu's turn comes out with Telosal coming out as there. There's the cocoon slowing him down, getting the stun. He's on top of the cripple as well. Needs a drain life. The drain life goes up. Here comes the Ares ultimate. It's going to be enough. Pulls the Arachne and finishes her off in the jungle. The chain finish as Squiddish loves to see the damage on top of the Guan Yu. He dashes away. Is it going to be enough is the question. There goes the Earthmaker, and one hit from the Giant Club will finish off Guan Yu. And Ares runs back to his tower with his non-existent tail between his legs, and overall is going to be a 1-for-3 exchange.
I love it when people die to Ares ults. I love it so much. It is possibly my favorite thing in existence. And he's not content to let Ares leave. Agni's going to go in, drop a bunch of damage on Ares' head. But he is now big enough that he can take it. He's a big boy. He can handle a couple meteors being thrown at his face. Agni's just not going to let him go home. Agni's just being a pain in the butt. Stalling while Ymir rotates around behind. Hercules now diving a tower like a crazy person, forcing them out here as they push in to try and tear down this mid tower. It is definitely going to fall. Ares finally able to go home as Ymir, I guess, decided he looked like he was going to go for a flank there, but just decided to let him go.
Hershey's going to fly away here and head on home. They will take that tower and those three 3-for-1 exchange in the middle lane. Now it's going to put Team Predator up 15-9. However, the gold is not really as big as you would expect it to be with the performance thus far. So Team Billy doing a good job of just farming effectively. We can see about a 4,000 gold lead between these two teams here at the 17-minute mark. So not as big as you would expect to be with the kill advantage that they have. But now everyone's just kind of heading back into their laning phase or pseudo laning phase at this point as the middle tower has fallen. Hebo going to be farming that up. And it looks like Thor's going to kind of harass the Agni here on the right side of the jungle and clear out those two big harpies for free gold and experience. Arachne hanging around. We actually see a good amount of wards being placed up. There is wards being countered by the Arachne here in front of the Gold Fury, and it looks like Team Predator is primed to take this Gold Fury pretty soon here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be going for it. Arachne's been building up to this for quite some time as she tries to go in on left lane, but doesn't quite have anything to trap anybody with there. Rotation was coming around from Team Billy, though, so that would have been an interesting engagement. But as you can see, Billy very, very badly wants vision on the left side of the map as they have a little pile of 3 wards just in a pile on the left side, making sure they can see any sort of incoming ganks. They want to know if something is coming. They want to know if something unpleasant is going to happen to them. But Arachne, slowly and systematically, is taking down all of their vision with her sentry wards. You can see her loaded up with 3 wards right now, just trying to get eyes everywhere in the jungle. And here she is going to start on the Gold Fury.
Starting the Gold Fury with those eggs up, does have a little bit of sustain with that Bulwark of Hope, as well as the penetration, has a shield available as the teammates show up. Clearing out the Gold Fury, and that's going to put a big boost in the gold, 1,500 gold to the team overall, 300 per person, so that gold lead that was previously 4,000 is now 6,000 over Team Billy. So Team Billy is on the ropes right now. They need to be very careful with their positioning and start winning some team fights group out. We see a freeze come out on the Ares, taking a little harassment from the Neath and the Ymir over in the left-hand lane. Neath just laying into him, doing tons of damage. damage. Neith actually has finished off the Heartseeker, now about to finish off the Executioner, so Neith will be doing a large sum of damage if given the opportunity.
And she's got enough penetration piled up there that just the fact that Ares has got the reinforced greaves, I mean, that's 25 protection, but that's only 25 protection. And just the boots give you plus 15 penetration. So that negates almost all of that. So as she gets this Executioner stacked up, she is, once that finished, going to just be able to eat through Ares' armor. He's not going to have a whole lot to really stand up. I mean, he's basically might as well be a naked tank at that point. And as you saw there, she's already laying into him with a ton of damage.
Yeah, once that penetration is there, as you mentioned, it's going to be very, very powerful. Of course, speaking of which, we have Agni finishing off that focused Void Stone right into the Gem of Isolation, so we'll have a slow, some good protections as well as HP, but we'll have the Doom War for that massive, massive damage, and the penetration from the Void Stone will be of huge benefit. Same build for the Hebo, very common mid build to have that penetration, good protections from magic, as you see a lot of magic damage, and we see an Agni gank with the Arachne in the right-hand lane, and finally a solo lane kill on that Guan Yu, who up until this point had been kind of just sitting there freely, sitting about 7,800 gold himself, so Guan Yu will fall to the combined efforts of the three players over in the right lane. It looks like Arachne nor Hercules had to use their ultimate to finish that off there.
Yeah, it looks like they just had enough of a big gank going around there that they brought enough people. They had 3. They had enough CC in control, but they didn't need to throw down their ultimates. They were okay. The Agni Meteors with the combustion gas stuns and the Hercules Earthbreaker were enough to keep going where they needed them. He's pretty tanky, but he's not tanky enough to stand up to 3 people just laying into his face. That's a lot of damage. I mean, we already see Arachne getting pretty decently far ahead in gold. She hurts a lot, and Agni as well, and even Hercules, actually all 3 people that participated in that gank from Team Predator, higher than any member of Team Billy in gold. So they got more than the damage necessary to put him down without all those ultimates.
They certainly do, especially since that lane does have a little bit of distance to it. But now we're going to see 3 players trooping up the left lane, looking for an opportunity to possibly slow down that on her. I think if Team Predator has an effective strategy in taking out that on her, they will be very comfortable for the rest of the game. There's the hook on top of the on her, getting a good initiate there. The cripple is on the ground. He can't jump away just yet. Has the opportunity to jump away. No, the stun comes out, and then one more meter will finish him off before he can even leap. The crushing wave on the Arachne will drop her quite low. Water cannon, the heals coming up. A good wall from here will force them away. Hebo can't commit. One more hit, and Hebo goes down before the Arachne pops the Aegis Amulet and survives the damage, but Ares will finish off the Arachne there. Now going for opportunity to dive the tower. He's so low. Taking the tower is the Audi. Now it's just Amir playing ring around the Rosie. Going for the Ares. A good stun from the Thor will prevent the Audi from going all the way in. He has a meteor available. There's the Path of Flames. The Spirit Arrow will not land. Ares is still alive, and Amir does not pay any mind to towers. He's actually going to pop his ultimate. This probably will be the end of him here as the tower finishes him off in range, and Ares will survive. So both Arachne and Amir die to an overcommit from Team Predator.
Ymir committed very, very hard to that, and that ult probably was not the world's best decision. That kind of reminds me of a certain interaction between yourself and Allied at some time in the past. Very similar event we're seeing down here. Ymir wanted that incredibly badly, ulted under tower, and just got torn down with absolutely nothing to show for it. But it was very close. Ares was very low, but what could have easily been a 2-for-1 exchange was now a 2-for-2 dead across exchange. That's not really going to make a big difference for anybody.
Guan Yu got ganked by the Neith there. Spirit Arrow came out and he decided to pop the tactics advantage, avoiding that initiation from the Neith, heading back into tower range. Since nothing's really happening right now, as the Guan Yu is soloing this lane quite well. Ares goes over the gold for you to check it out. His will be spawning soon. Let's go and check out the item situation. We see a Bulwark Hope finished up for the Arachne, now starting on that Frostbound Hammer and finishing off the shell as well. The Absorption Shell, able to absorb a lot of damage, giving protections and a flat percentage reduction in damage taken. Arachne looking to take a very defensive route here. Has the Void Blade, has the Bulk of Hope, and the HP from the Frostbound and the slow on top of it. Arachne just going to be very, very obnoxious in these coming team fights. We see Hercules going for more of a damage build. Has the Focus Void Blade as well as the Jotun's Wrath being started up there and almost finished. Neith is now done with the execution. A lot of penetration and raw damage from that Heartseeker. Neith has not died yet, so fully stacked Heartseeker at this current point. We see Ymir actually finishing off that Sovereignty and going to the Bulwark of Hope. Hopping to the side, we're going to see the same build from Hebo as we do from the Audi, deviating away and getting that Obsidian Shard for more penetration. Wants to just eke through the tanks, mainly just the Arachne and the Ymir on the enemy team, and then Guan Yu going for a tanky build with CDR, massive CDR from the boots and the Breastplate of Ours. Arachne hops on the Hebo here. Guan Yu pops his ultimate going after the Arachne. The Neith ultimate drops down, and Hebo taking so much damage, but the rock comes out, finishing off the Hebo. Thor ducks down, Tech Dark Drift. Now 4 players are around him doing lots of damage. There is a stun from the Audi, and 1 hit from the team will finish him off. A 2-for-0 exchange and caught out in the jungle, and they will just proceed to the middle tower.
Thor tried really hard, but he kind of got stuck pretty far in there, but he dunked down right as Hebo died. He was kind of left out alone. Looks like they're not even going to bother with the middle tower. They are beelining right for Gold Fury. They know exactly what they want to do with this 2-for-0 exchange. They know what they want while the team is down, and they aren't going to go take it. They have enough damage to tear this Gold Fury down very, very quickly. So there's not a whole lot Team Billy's really probably going to be able to do for this. They are going to try, though. They're trying to go in. Guan Yu does have the rank 2 hog, but that's a lot of zoning they have between Ymir and the Agni Ultimate Meteors, and obviously they couldn't get in there. That's going to go to Team Predator, basically uncontested. Arachne lays the web down, the Impale, and then the ultimate comes out from on her. Earthbreaker hits him while he's ulting, so he can't get pulled. But the damage it didn't hurt Arachne that much, because like you said, she's building pretty freaking tanky. Ares gets blown up by an Agni Meteor in the back there. And I mean, when Arachne can just take an Honor ult on the chin and laugh about it, you're going to need to bring some serious firepower to take her down.
Yeah, somewhat like the Fenrir effect, where a lot of times we'll see Fenrir do tons of damage in the beginning, and then towards the mid-game start building tank, just because Fenrir's job is to be in the enemy's face at all times and just be very, annoying with the Ragnarok, with the brutalize, the stuns, the damage output, to the point where just Fenrir is so susceptible to focus, and in the same effect we see Arachne building more of a tanky build and a CC build with the slows and the cripple as well as the Frostbound Hammer and the Shell of Absorption, able to just kind of get in there and stay in there for long periods of time, and where the paradigm, it used to be just focus them down, that it shifts away from that just because they're so tanky.
Exactly, and as they are able to cash in on this left tower here, 3 members of Team Predator just pushing it down. Billy tried to rally up a defense, but there just wasn't much they can do, as they just had a lot of firepower down the scene, and the tower was already quite low. So that is going to leave Team Predator with about little over 10,000 gold advantage, about 10,500, just barely cracking over that. But that's pretty sufficient. 11-21, it's going to be Billy's game to try and come back from. That's going to see if they can kind of rally a defense here as Agni goes in on the Guan Yu, kind of slaps him up a little bit, but not enough damage to really do anything, and then just disengages.
He was going to clear that jungler there, now go for the damage buff. Most likely will take this away, as the Thor is nowhere near as farmed as the Hebo, especially once that Obsidian Shard is done, which only needs 550 gold for the last rank. Will be able to penetrate a lot of defenses and do lots of raw damage. Not only does his passive scale, but the damage buff will scale him up as well. Guan Yu got hit by the Neath, but Hebo runs directly into the Arachne. Arachne slows him down, now going top. This is Arachne's time to shine. Gets away with the River and avoids the hook. Now Guan Yu gets the stun off the Arachne. Arachne in so much trouble right now. The rock comes out. Each time it gets popped, is it going to be enough? Is the question. No! The crushing wave comes out, and they say no to Arachne. She gets put into the dirt. Already looking for opportunity to grab this Guan Yu in the middle lane. There goes the Thor dunking down. One stun, double stun, Path of Flames, Flame Wave, finishing off the Thor in the middle lane, and Agni's in a tough spot here. Here goes Ares' ultimate. It's going to be enough to pull him. The bees get popped. The Spirit Arrow goes down on Guan Yu. There's the water spout. Flames are shooting out of Ares' shield, and looks like this will be a tower pressure coming out from Team Predator.
They're definitely trying to gather around here and see what they can do after that 1-for-1 trade there. 4v4 and Predator definitely a lot more farmed up. So they should be pretty well set on rallying up a defense and pushing, as we see Meteors just raining down from Agni. Those 0 mana Meteors he can just throw in all day long and chunk people's health down. Earthbreaker does manage to pull Guan Yu, who dashes a little deeper in, trying to land a slow. The wall comes out from Ymir. He's going to drop a freeze on Mexican and takes you there. The Honor ult's going to come out to try and defend him, but there's no way Hebo's getting out of that one. Guan Yu ult misses the Agni as he ducks around a corner. And now we got enemies spread all around. Tigsy low and in a bad spot, playing ring around the tower. Is he as good at it as Ares, though, is today's question. Looks like he is. He's doing a pretty good job. He's going ham on Neath there, trying to get her down. She is very low, and then Tigsy's going to fall back out, almost getting knocked down by that meteor. He's going to have to fall back and just leave the scene. So, apparently both support tanks on Team Billy are equally good at hiding under the tower.
Exactly. A lot of ring around the rosy and very good avoidance there, as we see, just barely avoiding. Obviously, the meteor came out. The frost breath was avoided by the Guan Yu, playing an excellent job of just wiggling in the face of danger. Arachne's now respawn, heading back into the jungle. We have 23-12 in favor of Team Predator. They're up by a whopping 11.2 thousand gold at this 28-minute mark, so a very significant lead for Team Predator. And now Team Billy is on the ropes, and they need to look for an opportunity to steal away objectives, get good positioning, and win some team fights to get back into into this match. Otherwise, Team Predator will surely be the victors. The question is, can they pull it out here? Guan Yu getting jumped on by 3 players in the jungle, taking very minimal damage. Pops tactics advantage, running towards the middle lane. Arachne's actually clearing out minions instead of going after the Guan Yu. Not really a prime target, as he's very, very tanky. Tectonic Rift will block the pursuit from Team Predator as Amir comes to the backside. Extra credit opportunity, throws out a Frost Breath by himself and disengages with that wall. Their Spirit Arrow will run directly into the wall, unfortunately enough. And there's a Meteor. Look how much damage the Meteor does to Thor.
That Meteor hurts a lot. And you can see Agni's got the Gem of ISO there as the bouncing Rock of Death just ping-pongs back and forth, rolling all over Ares and Onher's collective face, tearing them both down. A fantastic ultimate from Hercules. That ult is just absolutely terrifying when used in a small enclosed space like that, and they are going to take those 2 kills, run over, and cash in their Fire Giant. I don't think Billy's going to have anything to say about that.
They certainly don't have the advantage nor the numbers to be able to do so. So 3 players still standing. 45 seconds left on both On Her as well as the Ares. The Fire Giant has been taken by Team Predator. They're up by 12,000 gold. The Gold Fury is up and available. It's just more gold for Team Predator to pick up on Arachne, harassing the enemy jungle, making sure they can just do nothing to get back in this game. This is a strategy. A very small thing you can do to get back to the game, but if you go into the enemy team and you don't have enough to push, you can just take away their jungle camp. So when they come back alive, they have nothing to farm. So we see about 20 seconds left on both players. 14 Billy and 5 people are grouping up to try and pressure the middle Phoenix. The question is, will they be able to get it? It looks like they might be able to. 1 meter comes out, the stun comes out of the Thor. Thor dropping so low right now. He uses Bjorn's attunement offensively. The Neath ultimate ends up missing, and Thor will survive heading back to his well, but is it going to be enough to defend this base? Ares and On Her are respawning. The Phoenix is down as Amir gets put up on the pedestal and forced to hop back down from that step, and they'll be heading out to the jungle, most likely to take the Gold Fury.
Pretty mind-blowing that Thor was able to squeak out of that fight with just the smallest little bit of health left there, as they are going to continue just denying Billy their jungle. As Neathus decides, might as well stop and take these Furies. They're here, why not? Brandon's going to go ahead and get started on the Gold Fury while he's in the area, just because Arachne is so good at tearing that down with her little baby spiders. But Team Billy is hot in pursuit, and they're going to try to close in and do something before Predator takes this down. Thor is up in the air. Ultimate is coming out from Guan Yu. Predator manages to secure the Gold Fury, but at what cost? Thor dunks in super slow motion, hitting nothing as the Ares ultimate comes out, pulling only the very tanky Hercules. Thor by himself quickly destroyed. The rock is enough to finish off Honor here, and you can see the force of Fire Giant coming through. The ult from Hebo and then the water spout is enough to finish off Arachne, so they got something for their trouble at least, but Hebo is definitely dead. That was absolutely a suicide mission, and now you can just see Ares running for his life. Guan Yu already back at the base, just nope, not doing that one. I'm gone, sorry guys. And it's left with just the 2 support tanks to defend the base against 4 members of Team Predator.
Ares kind of poking out some change at Amir, who just does not care about whatever it is he's doing. Their Frost Breath comes out, and they're the Glacial Strike as well as the minions. The minions are doing so much damage here. They tried the best to defend this. The Neath ultimate comes out, hitting Ares in the well. The Minotaur taking some harassment here from Team Predator. There's the Guan Yu ultimate, hitting 3 people. There goes the hit. The stun comes out as well. Amir actually taking a lot of damage from the Minotaur. The Minotaur scales up in damage the more he hits you. So now going after the Audi. Audi takes over. He goes outside of his range, gets 1 hit off the Audi. Everyone is so low, and here comes the heroic defense, but it's going to be enough. Ares falls. Guan Yu take a lot of damage from those Phoenix minions who just got handed the gods, and it did nothing. Now going to the Neath. Neath taking a lot of damage from the Minotaur. Here comes the minion streaming in again. Towel Assault comes out. Can the Minotaur survive? He gets leashed again. Still alive is the Minotaur, over 50% HP, and forcing back Team Predator is Team Billy, going for a kill on the Hercules, and the Neath is at half HP as well. Looks like they don't really want to commit too much to this.
Yeah, it looks like there's not a whole lot they really can commit to. That was absolutely beautiful play by the Guan Yu and the Ares, but it's just a Guan Yu and an Ares. They just didn't have the damage necessary to push in and actually burn anybody down. They did excellent. They got everyone so low, got so close. They just, 2 support tanks don't have any finishing power. Especially one of them's level 16 versus an entirely level 20 team, except Ymir, who doesn't care anyway because he's Ymir. I mean, there's just really nothing more they could possibly have done there.
Yeah, a very, very tough spot for them to be in. They pushed back as much as they can, but at this point they're so far behind that even to defend the Minotaur, they have to commit and lose something. They have to sacrifice something, whether it be a death or 2, just to keep them off the Minotaur, and it just puts them further behind. Obviously, Team Predator doesn't care about exchanging evenly, even unevenly at this point. They're so far ahead. Ogden's kind of wander out, running into 4 players here. There's the stun comes out, Thor, and the team is far behind, so Thor's going to fall at the beginning of this fight. Tactics advantage on top of the Audi being forced back. The beats gets popped. There is the Towel Assault as well. Is it going to be enough? Audi Guan Yu will fall. A 1-for-1 exchange. Hebo is still around doing tons of damage here. Arachne shows up. They're going to go for the squishies and avoid the Guan Yu. Smart play, and they're just going to go ahead and disengage, actually, as Neath farms through the middle lane. Now, at this point, the middle Phoenix is probably about to respawn. They want to push that back down and maybe even pressure the right lane, it looks like. Actually, they go for the Fire Giant as the Fire Giant is about to respawn. And once they secure this, Team Billy is going to be very hard-pressed to defend this.
That is absolutely something that Team Billy does not want right now, as Predator fresh on the heels of another Fire Giant, which they are absolutely priming up. As you see Arachne setting up a huge nest just to be ready the second he respawns. They are all over this, and they are totally ready. They have vision all around. There's really no way Billy's going to be able to do anything to contest this. However, their middle Phoenix did come back up, and it respawned all right, and it did not immediately get pushed down. So, I mean, that's something, but Guan Yu is getting murdered, so that's something too.
That combination there must have felt so defeating. Guan Yu pops out, gets spirit arrowed inside of the Arachne cripple, so could not dash away with the Warrior's will, was not able to just really do anything. Obviously could have just popped with the Towel Assault and stood still, but there's just so much CC and so much damage that Guan Yu died before the route even ended, and that is going to be not only a Fire Giant, but a free kill on the tank for Team Billy. So Team Predator's poised to win this game here. The question is, how will they end up doing it? Jumping atop the Honor. Hunter gets pulled away by the Arachne. There's the Aegis Hammer, but the crit from the Neath will finish him off inside the jungle. 2 players dead for Team Billy and 5 players up for Team Predator, along with the Fire Giant buff, and we're going to see a tower defense attempt from Thor as he blinks over the wall and lets the tower go. Now it is Hebo, Ares, and Thor, and they are tasked with defending this base 3v5.
Not sure how well that's going to go. Yeah, Guan Yu pinned down by that Spirit Arrow and just clubbed to death mercilessly. Not even really using abilities, just beating him down with auto attacks because they have so much damage. Team Billy's Bright Phoenix going down now. Ares blinks in and lands a pretty good ultimate, but it only, again, pulls Hercules. And Hercules doesn't care a whole lot. The meteors are just going to rain in and blow up Ares and Thor as the rock comes out missing, but Hebo has forced to ult back into his well. The Tactician's advantage comes out from Guan Yu. Doesn't particularly matter. Arachne just eats Hebo for breakfast after hooking him. That's just good luck, Tigsy. I believe in you. All right, you tried. You gave it a good effort. Yeah, he's
Minotaur fall there. Team Billy ended up losing this first round. Of course, this was round of 8. We have 8 teams playing for this match. We're going to see Team Predator end up taking the victory there in quite spectacular fashion. We saw an Arachne gameplay. We saw Hercules, as you know, as Squiddish mentioned, very heavily banned character. As we check out the stats on screen here, overall, we're going to see 14, 36, and 17 for Team Billy, and 36, 14, and 72 for Team Predator. An excellent play there. And you see they have a pretty good assist-to-kill ratio, just grouping up quite well and making sure they utilize themselves to their fullest. We're going to see a lot of creep damage coming from Arachne here. As far as structure damage goes, pretty evenly split. Actually, Neath did the most on her team. Now, looking at the damage numbers, we're going to see 35,000 damage done by that Agni with an AoE effect, Rainfire, Flame Wave, as well as the Path of Flames there. So we're going to see Arachne seeing about 20,000 herself, 18.5 for the Hercules, and then 7,700 for the Amir. But I mean, just so much raw damage and positioning, as well as the tanky build from Arachne being quite effective here.
Very much so. It allowed him to go totally ham and just dive in on things. And even when he was getting focused, he was able to bring all his CC to the table, his crippling webs, all that stuff, because he was difficult to tear down. And it's worth mentioning that with 19,000 damage versus Agni's 35, I mean, that's a meteor crap storm that just explodes on everybody. That 19k is all single target damage. So, I mean, that is a lot of raw single target damage that Arachne put out there. A terrifying amount. On the other team, we see, of course, Hebo coming in with 21,000. He landed a couple really good crushing waves. Was bringing his damage to bear pretty well. He was just too squishy. He just got... I mean, it's Hebo. He just got burned down so hard. I mean, his only defense was focused Void Stone, which hardly counts. That's literally all he had. So he got blown up like it was nothing. Thor had nothing but a Void Blade. He got blown up like it was nothing. On her had nothing but a rank 1 Void Blade at the end. He got blown up like it was nothing. They were too squishy. They didn't have any sort of defenses built up, even after Predator started taking the lead. I think they really should have transitioned a bit into at least picking up a defensive item or two, just because Predator brought so much damage to the table.
Really did. That's something we see a lot, and it's a good point to make there. As you see, Arachne do a lot of single target damage with the Hercules, whereas Agni, pretty much everything he does is AoE, so he gets multiple hits on all of his abilities. You look at the enemy team, and as you mentioned, it wasn't really a much defense for Hebo, but had that Doom Orb, and just having a Doom Orb on your team when you're losing the game in this kind of fashion, it is so hard to keep those stacks up. And oftentimes, once you lose that stacks for the first time or the second time, as you only lose half of them, but once you get dropped down into the teens as far as stacks go, it's very difficult to get those back up, especially when your team is on tilt and really can't have the positioning or the vision to go out and pressure objectives or do the things you would expect to be able to do. Thor also having a tough time. I mean, Arachne is so good at counter jungling, very offensive jungler, as we saw her going to the enemy jungle and take out Thor multiple times. But overall, I mean, we're going to see Team Predator take out this matchup here. Hercules actually did not die, and neither did the Knee, so very strong team lineup. And again, I have to remind everybody here, this is a single tournament sign up here. We're going to see these players come in one by one, most likely didn't even know each other when they signed up, but these are all balanced out by rating on tiermonster.com. But sometimes, every now and then we see the perfect, the miraculous chemical X mix up where the team, everyone gets to play the role they're best at, and everything kind of works and clicks together, as you can see here from Team Predator. But of course, this is only the best, or the round 8 preliminary here. We're going to be heading into the semifinals soon, watching both semifinal rounds, and then the best of 3 finals for those gem layouts. Of course, first place, second place, and third place all get gems for the Code Green tournament. But this is just the start of it all, and we're going to take a brief break here as we check in with the matches and as they progress forward, and we'll be bringing you action pretty soon here.